It is because I am in a worse humor than usual, replied Danglars. Hermina looked at the banker with supreme disdain. These glances frequently exasperated the pride of Danglars, but this evening he took no notice of them. "And what have I to do with your ill humor?" said the Baroness, irritated at the impassibility of her husband. "Do these things concern me?" "Keep your ill humor at home in your money boxes, or, since you have clerks whom you pay, vent it upon them." "Not so," replied Danglars. "Your advice is wrong, so I shall not follow it." "My money boxes are my Pactolus, as, I think, M. de Moustier says, and I will not retard its course, or disturb its calm." "My clerks are honest men, who earn my fortune, whom I pay much below their deserts, if I may value them according to what they bring in, therefore I shall not get into a passion with them. Those with whom I will be in a passion are those who eat my dinners, mount my horses, and exhaust my fortune." "And pray who are the persons who exhaust your fortune?" "Explain yourself more clearly, I beg, sir." "Oh, make yourself easy. I am not speaking riddles, and you will soon know what I mean. The people who exhaust my fortune are those who draw out 700,000 francs in the course of an hour." "I do not understand you, sir," said the Baroness, trying to disguise the agitation of her voice and the flush of her face. "You understand me perfectly, on the contrary," said Danglars. "But, if you will persist, I will tell you that I have just lost 700,000 francs upon the Spanish loan." "And pray," asked the Baroness, "am I responsible for this loss?" "Why not? Is it my fault you have lost 700,000 francs? Certainly it is not mine." "Once for all, sir," replied the Baroness sharply, "I tell you I will not hear cash named. It is a style of language I never heard in the house of my parents or in that of my first husband." "Oh, I can well believe that. For neither of them was worth a penny." "The better reason for my not being conversant with the slang of the bank, which is here dinning in my ears from morning to night, that noise of jingling crowns, which are constantly being counted and recounted, is odious to me." "I only know one thing I dislike more, which is the sound of your voice." Really? Said Danglars. Well, this surprises me, for I thought you took the liveliest interest in all my affairs. I? What could put such an idea into your head? Yourself. Ah? What next? Most assuredly. I should like to know upon what occasion? Oh, mon Dieu, that is very easily done. Last February you were the first who told me of the Haitian funds. You had dreamed that a ship had entered the harbor at Havre, that this ship brought news that a payment we had looked upon as lost was going to be made. I know how clear-sighted your dreams are. I therefore purchased immediately as many shares as I could of the Haitian debt, and I gained 400,000 francs by it, of which 100,000 have been honestly paid to you. You spent it as you pleased, that was your business. In March there was a question about a grant to a railway. 3 companies presented themselves, each offering equal securities. You told me that your instinct, and although you pretend to know nothing about speculations, I think on the contrary, that your comprehension is very clear upon certain affairs. Well, you told me that your instinct led you to believe the grant would be given to the company called the Southern. I bought 2/3 of the shares of that company, as you had foreseen. The shares trebled in value, and I picked up 1,000,000, from which 250,000 francs were paid to you for pin money. How have you spent this 250,000 francs? It is no business of mine. When are you coming to the point? Cried the Baroness, shivering with anger and impatience. Patience, madam, I am coming to it. That's fortunate. In April you went to dine at the minister's. You heard a private conversation respecting Spanish affairs, on the expulsion of Don Carlos. I bought some Spanish shares. The expulsion took place and I pocketed 600,000 francs the day Charles V repassed the Baie de Soa. Of these 600,000 francs you took 50,000 crowns. They were yours, you disposed of them according to your fancy, and I asked no questions, but it is not the less true that you have this year received 500,000 livres. Well, sir, and what then? Ah, yes, it was just after this that you spoiled everything. Really, your manner of speaking. It expresses my meaning. and that is all I want. Well, 3 days after that you talked politics with M. Debray, and you fancied from his words that Don Carlos had returned to Spain. Well, I sold my shares, the news got out, and I no longer sold, I gave them away. Next day I find the news was false, and by this false report I have lost 700,000 francs. Well? Well, since I gave you a fourth of my gains, I think you owe me a fourth of my losses. The fourth of 700,000 francs is 175,000 francs. What you say is absurd, and I cannot see why M. Debray's name is mixed up in this affair. Because if you do not possess the 175,000 francs I reclaim, you must have lent them to your friends, and M. Debray is one of your friends. For shame! Exclaimed the Baroness. Oh, let us have no gestures, no screams, no modern drama, or you will oblige me to tell you that I see Debray leave here, pocketing the whole of the 500,000 livres you have handed over to him this year, while he smiles to himself, saying that he has found what the most skillful players have never discovered, that is, a roulette where he wins without playing, and is no loser when he loses. The Baroness became enraged. Wretch! She cried, will you dare to tell me you did not know what you now reproach me with? I do not say that I did know it, and I do not say that I did not know it. I merely tell you to look into my conduct during the last 4 years that we have ceased to be husband and wife, and see whether it has not always been consistent. Some time after our rupture, you wished to study music, under the celebrated baritone who made such a successful appearance at the Theatre Italien. At the same time I felt inclined to learn dancing of the danseuses who acquired such a reputation in London.